Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with some, well, I guess Macross Frontier extras. I apologize ahead of time, I don't know how I'm editing this. We have a number of side materials, extra things, bonus content, etc. But we also have a couple of longer form contents, say a Labyrinth of Time or a crossover experience. I'm expecting that we're going to be hearing a lot of music today, is what I'm
Yeah,
expecting. So, again, I
that's all I
apologize.
know. I don't know anything else. Yeah.
Yeah, I apologize ahead of time. I don't know how I'm editing this. I'm assuming I'm going to be putting a lot of short form content together and then putting the other things to themselves. So, don't know how I'm introducing you to this in video format on, say, YouTube or Patreon. So, before anything else, though, we did recently, or we didn't recently finish Macross 7. We finished Macross 7 some time ago. Macross 7 recently hit YouTube, and we've had a number of YouTube comments in the week since then. So we figured we'd go ahead and bring up some of those comments, respond to them here before anything else. So first off, we have Reg. God damn it, I should start giving you the names. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I will hopefully edit that bit, that flummox out. Say this.
Let me see if I can say it. Rekt Younger.
Who says thumbs up for making it through this? While people can watch things out of order and still be entertained, future series in the franchise, including Zero, which came out after, do make more sense after watching this. My review? Points for effort and intent, but the execution was lacking. Future series do a better job at expanding on what they are trying to do here. Would love to see a remake one day.
I mean, people keep saying that, but aside, I mean, this is just my personal take, and I will talk about my own comments soon enough when we're done with everyone else's, of course. My take is, aside from the whole temples, the 2 episodes at the temple, which go deeper into the proto-culture and all that, most of the series feels like, it almost feels like the stuff we're going to be watching right now. It feels like it's set in the Macross universe, but doesn't really, at least for me and my taste, doesn't really fit the Macross universe. It takes stuff in the Macross universe and just goes, oh, we've done giants. Okay, now we're going to do kaiju, right? Oh, we've done music. Now it's going to be music, music to save the universe, right? Yes, it is grounded thematically in aspects that we've seen before and we'll see again. But here it's just like, oh, it's the 1990s. We got to ramp it up to 11. And that's where it lost me a little bit, right? It's like, I watch Macross 7 and see, oh, let's see if I miss anything important. And I guess I'm being the hater here because I am. I find that my first decision to skip Macross 7 was the right one. It wasn't a good fit for me. So
I mean, yeah, I can understand what you're saying. There are elements of when you go too far in one direction of any sort of longer form media that the people who don't like that one specific thing aren't going to enjoy it. My example of that would be Star Trek, the animated series, because they explore the space in that show and stuff that they wouldn't do in a live action. Because can you imagine? Well, I guess you could. Q, you could do it with Q. You could do anything with Q. Because I was thinking, imagine when the Enterprise goes to the magic universe. It's like, okay, what the fuck do I want with this? It's like, yeah, sure, you could do that with Q, though. I don't know. For me, the animated series was just too goofy. It's the Macross 7 of Star Trek, if you will. So, I mean, I understand the sentiment. It just, I wasn't put off the same way that you were with this.
no, I mean, I do like some aspects of it, which might talk about. We did talk extensively in that episode and afterwards, but it's one of those things where it didn't add up enough to me to be like, okay, and then other stuff that we saw later was really kind of soured me to that. Personal taste, I know, but still was like, yeah, why did they have to go there? And it's become kind of something of a poison pill for me, right? It's like, I like to think of it without it, but now it's part of my experience, and I know it's part of it, and I'm like,
I don't know,
yikes.
because for me, your favorite Macross thing also has
Does
that.
have this?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's kind
Well,
of like the poison pill is this one's
but you
sugar
did,
flavored.
but you didn't like it for that very same reason, and I told you I understood exactly why you didn't like it, right? And I also characterized Macross Plus as being the darker, edgier aspect of it, which, if you think of, but the
Well,
way I take it
again,
is that
the
their
difference though
actions have
there.
consequence.
Sorry, the difference there is that also Macross Plus front loads it. Macross 7 adds it into like side material.
Yeah. Macross Plus is either you take it or you don't. If you don't like it, then the whole thing is going to be out. If you're willing to accept it and deal with it as it's done, which I think if you're going to do that kind of storyline, here's the thing. At no point I think that storyline is made to be, well, to a degree, I suppose, later on with two characters. But when you realize what's going on, it's that event itself is not sugar coated necessarily, although it is, they a bit of at the end. It's like, oh, I forgive you, but that character then dies, so it's like self-sacrifice. Like I realized what I'd done, and that the character that was involved in most of it was horrified that he was involved in it. Right? He was like, this is bad, and I think part of what he was acting out was trying to redeem himself, even though he didn't realize why he was doing it. And his friends were so affected by their friendship shattered. Huh? While the way it's treated here is like, well, oopsie, it kind of happened.
I
Oh,
could
well,
I
yeah.
could see a world where you could restructure Macross Plus, and I wouldn't have that problem. Like again, they front loaded it. You remember when Gould is like in his room, going
Mm-hmm.
over the computer reports and like getting pissed off at Azumi?
Yeah.
Have a flashback there. That is
Yeah.
way into the stuff, so that you
Mm-hmm.
would already get like these. Why are these characters fucking like this? And then Gould's sitting there, and he has a flashback of the thing that he thinks has happened, and then it's like, oh shit, and then that's already weighted to everything I've experienced with the characters, instead of literally the first thing.
Yeah.
You can't start off with me hating a character and then want me to like the character.
And also, I think I'll be perfectly honest, my taste has changed over the years. And when I saw Macross Plus originally, I was a much younger person. And I was kind of into the darker and edgier stuff too. It's like, well, this is realistic. This is what happens. You cannot avoid the dark stuff, right? And now I'm like, yeah, I can do without it. I know it exists.
Yeah, I mean,
You
I
don't need to
understand
tell
that.
me.
I had a
Yeah,
whole conversation
yeah.
with Rafferty about Gurren Lagann being my favorite anime, and then for
Hmm.
some reason we're going on about how I also hate how you always have these younger girls being overtly sexualized. And it's like, oh, that's right, that girl from Gurren Lagann's only 15. Like, damn it!
Yeah.
You kind of give like a little hand wave to the things you liked when you were younger, and then even when you understand it later, it's like, oh, but I really like it though.
Mm.
Well, I feel like, despite you saying that you were going to get your thoughts about the show out last,
Might as
we
well.
really just
I
kind of
already
covered
did.
this. You like,
Yeah.
yeah, you piggybacked on Rach's comment. All right, well, the next comment now, RR0722 says, I enjoyed both of your takeaways from the show. It helps me understand what expectations some people have from fiction. I personally think this show is great, especially as a way to reframe the Macross franchise after the first one. Because the 80s SDF Macross had both serious and goofy elements, yet these 90s Macross sequels, Plus and Macross 7, split up those themes into two separate shows, which ran together from 94 to 95. So it was cool to enjoy both sides of Macross as a media property, making it more than the sum of its parts, and establishing as a very malleable concept, which is never the same twice. When the 2000s rolled around and we get Zero and Frontier, I think they dialed it back a little too much, and thus it didn't feel like a progression to me. So while still enjoyable, those shows were a little disappointing for me, having experienced the wild extremes of Plus and 7 in 94.
I said this before, and I even said it when we started, that many of the series kind of remix the elements. They take the elements from the original and they kind of remix it, like change character. You see it all, especially in Frontier. Like, oh, this character should mark to this one character, but it has this other properties of this other character, right? So they mix and match to the great degree. And I think that was an answer to my comment. So remember that one. I think what was going on, and they said that in my comment, was that in Frontier and Zero, they were trying to sort of restore the balance, right? I'm not saying the people who did Macross 7 are ashamed of Macross 7. It's like, I think they felt that they moved on, and, for new audiences of the 21st century, especially the events of the early 21st century, they couldn't make that more goofy, wild 90s experimental stuff, because Macross Plus also was very experimental as well. It's a cult classic, but it didn't do well financially. Macross 7 did very well, financially. I have to admit that if it were for Macross 7, you probably don't get more Macross, because Macross 2 also didn't do well, which was the first that came out after SDF 1, SDF Macross. So if it weren't for Macross 7, like it or hate it, we wouldn't have more Macross. It was successful.
Well, I liked it, so works out for me.
Yeah. But I do believe that they were trying to rebalance the scales a little bit with Frontier and Zero. It's like, yes, we still have teenage romances. Yes, you have singing and all that, but also remember, war is hell. And when weapons go off and these mooks die, it's not just mooks; it's civilians who suffer. It's people caught in the war. War has consequences, leaves scars in people, especially in Zero, because we see images of the village being destroyed and the wailing child and all of that. So it's like, spoilers for people who haven't seen Zero.
Even these for people who watched our playthrough,
well,
our watch through. Yeah,
how many people might skip to the one
Zero,
they like? They might skip to the people that what they like. So
that's not how you do that.
And I think
that's not how you do that at all.
I do feel like, if this had been an omake, if the stuff in Macross 7 would have been just a sideshow, it's like, oh, sure, I have no problem with that. But the fact that it was this big, and ironically, it's the thing that put Macross or kept Macross in the map, is something I have to live with. I don't have to like it. Just the way it is. Those are the facts.
Yeah, I mean, it's the nature of the thing. Like being a Star Trek fan and having to deal with New Trek, or a Star Wars fan and people dealing with people who enjoy the prequels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just there's going to be an element of your fandom that you're not going to like. I also wouldn't say this is like any sort of extreme cutting down. Like, I brought this up during Destiny, that Double O comes out after Destiny, different shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like if you took the Destiny character and said, these characters are too dramatic. What if we gave them the same motivations, but took away all of their personalities?
Oof.
All right. Next up, we have VF19S Excalibur. The lesson of this anime is you either sing the song of Basara, or he keeps singing till your ears bleed, unless you're a mountain.
Yes. I don't know if this is a comment section or we got another comment about the mountain, so I'll keep my mouth shut until the mountain comes up again.
Yeah,
but I agree.
Again, the mountain is a metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Aka Sabu says, hello, I'm Japanese. The mountain refers to the viewer's heart. Japanese metaphors may be difficult to understand overseas. Basara moved Gamlin, Giggle, Civil, and, sorry, they're writing the other way that Gepernick's name is written down, but not the way that I've been pronouncing it. Gamlin, Giggle, and Civil, and Gepernick's mountains.
The problem I have with that, I mean, it might be entirely true that there might be a mountain-related series of imagery that is primarily Japanese. I cannot question that. I don't have the background to even dare to go like, oh, that's not true, blah, 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 blah.
Well, I mean, it's a Japanese person telling us it is true, so...
Yeah, but the way I felt about it wasn't so much that Basara moved anybody, more like the plot moved itself to
I mean,
accommodate Basara.
he legitimately did
That's
move
the
people,
moment.
though. Literally, they break down crying, and then they change their motivations.
Yeah.
Right.
But it feels like the entire plot line was like, oh, in our world, somebody like Basara wouldn't make any sense. But hey, we got a show to make, and he's our hero, so let's make the plot work for that, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, sure. So
No,
I
I mean,
kind of,
again, it's the same conceit that we have to give, like, Gundam Seed, right? Gundam Seed Destiny, right? Where we're like, why do they have bases all over the world if they were going to abandon everything to begin with? You know, like for our last episodes that we reacted to,
yeah,
it's like, why did they just give this random guy the most advanced fighter unit ever? You know, it's just like, things are set up to encourage him to do stuff. And I guess we do also know down the road that Ray is the one that set everything up with his connections and everything. But it's just like, he's not doing anything really that doesn't make sense. I mean, sorry, that obviously is not true. He's not doing anything that doesn't make internal sense to the show.
yeah, but it shouldn't.
We know
I mean,
there's a
with
whole
like I
music
did,
project that's being backed by Max and is being like interceded by Ray. So that explains why he keeps flying into the middle of nowhere to sing at people. We already know that everybody in the entire fucking universe believes in the Mylene effect. That singing has an effect on things, regardless of who or what you are. So
yeah,
there's nothing for us to think that, oh, why isn't this working? Like, we're the dumbasses who are like, Basara clearly isn't working, when literally every series is about someone singing and it works. So,
yeah, but the way, I mean, if you look at the first episodes, he goes out there, nothing happens. He goes out there, nothing happens, and all of a sudden, somebody goes like, "Oh, the problem is not that he is wasting his time and should learn a lesson about what he should do or whatever. Lesson is we haven't given him the power pack so he can actually influence
well, I
people."
mean, that's true, though. Again,
Yeah,
we're dumb for having questioned why it's not working, especially when the lesson of Macross as a total is that music will change the world. Like, I don't understand how confused you were back in Macross 7 when we watched multiple episodes of Renka and Cheryl having to sing at the inhuman monsters that are killing us because we have to change their minds. And it doesn't always work. But then we have to keep doing it until it does work. They're little mini Basaras.
except that the specific mechanics were already baked into the specific creatures,
You don't find that out till
and
the end. You don't find that out till the end. It's not like they
and
have
it doesn't
little
always
brains.
work.
They have little brains. How do they work? That's just a question until they decide to tell you later that it's a whole network thing.
And it doesn't work until they come to an understanding of who they are influencing and why the specific song works, because otherwise they just sing
Oh,
into the
that's
void,
funny.
right?
It's almost like Basara's music doesn't work until they come to an understanding about who they're influencing, and then the music starts working.
No, they just put a power pack and that's
No,
it. They
no,
just
no,
you're
it doesn't
blasting.
work. It doesn't work until, like, even Giggle is like, I'm so angry, I gotta get over my emotions, but I recognize what you're actually trying to do when I come slightly to an understanding. Then Giggle starts working on their side.
No, but
Literally,
Basara doesn't do any of that. He
he
doesn't come
does.
to any
He's the
understanding.
only interaction point between
He
Giggle
doesn't do
and
anything. He just
everything.
keeps doing whatever he was doing. Other people are like, "Oh yes,
No,
he
him
hasn't said
singing
anything,
at
but."
Sybil trying to save her is what makes Giggle understand what's going on. It's literally Basara doing it.
And that's not even, he doesn't communicate. He's just singing at Sybil. And other people are like, of course, that's what he's trying to do. And you're like, but he hasn't.
I hate to
He
tell
just,
you this, but Mylene. No, I have said Mylene before. I said Mylene effect before. What I meant to say was yeah, what's her name?
Min May effect.
Min
Min
May.
May?
Yeah, the Min May effect. You didn't correct me back then, so it
Yeah.
did occur to me that Mylene was from Across 7. Anyway, Min May singing "My boyfriend is a pilot" at the Zentradi is not communicating with the Zentradi either.
Oh, it is. It's just that Centrati discovered that there's more to
No. There's
their
no
lives.
communications there. If you're hearing a song that you don't know what the meaning behind it is, and you're just affected by the listening to music, that's not communication. You're just being moved by music.
Yeah, but they're just confused, which is basically what they also want to do with the Vajra. Basara doesn't want to confuse anybody. Basara, I don't know what Basara wants to do. That's the problem. I guess I don't get the analog of the mountain.
That's what I'm
It
saying,
hasn't
is that in the basis of it, the basis of Macross Frontier is set in Macross 7. Everything Basara tries to do is what Ranka and Cheryl do in Macross Frontier. It's like, watching Macross Frontier, I now understand where Macross 7 is coming from, and I'm entirely confused now how did not see Macross 7 coming. This isn't me asking you to, like, break down everything about your entire thoughts of the series again. I'm just saying, in retrospect, now that I think about how Macross Frontier ended, and all the music and singing towards the Vajra and everything, it's like, that really is a whole hell of a, like, what Basara was doing in Macross 7.
Except that Basara at no point really communicates with anybody, or laterally, because we get
He
a lot of
legit
talk.
says, listen to my song, which is more, I would say, than a lot of other characters do in other shows. He's literally telling them what he wants them to do.
That's the only thing he says. That's it. He doesn't tell us why, how it happens. He doesn't understand how it even works. He's not even curious about it. It's like, oh, this is just going to work because I said so.
And it does.
Because the plot is built around him making it work.
Well, it's Animal Spiritua, really.
Which is also kind of weak as well. I don't like the whole spiritual thing
myself.
Oh,
really? But fold crystals, those are fine. We can just make up whatever we want, and it's really up to me, to my flippant nature, to decide which fantasy element I want. Backpack that harnesses Anima Spiritua, or earring that focuses on my song into a galactic musical. Well, it's like, what the fuck ever. I mean,
no, actually, they have to take over the queen of
the queen,
species.
The queen the queen has fold crystals in her. Remember, they're harvesting this shit from every little minor queen that they've taken and everything. Plus the Vajra have them in them. That's what allows them to use them when they're singing. Well, partly because also they've got the disease, but also because it's resonating with the fold crystal. So Anima Spiritua, essentially like your soul energy, is also just being harnessed by yourself and this backpack that a doctor made, versus an illness being harnessed by a fold crystal that a space insect made.
It's not really, it's illness depending on how you catch it.
It literally is called an illness by the 3 people who studied it back on the I forgot the name of the ship. The exploration ship. The Global.
The Global,
well,
yeah.
Depending on if you count the movie or the show.
Yeah, it's a 227th exploration.
But, Ranka's mom, Grace, and Mao.
Mao, yeah.
So they called it an illness. Because also it does kill people. Really, Ranka only survived because she had it in utero.
Yeah.
So again, really... it's like apples and oranges right now, and you're like, I don't like apples. All right, well, final comment then. RR0722 also says, I enjoyed the Macross Classic radio show when it first came out back in the 90s, and it blew my mind that Milliard and Flower Girl were in it. Milliard was under the command of Hikaru, but he was injured due to Hikaru getting a panic attack since he was suffering from PTSD. Flower Girl reveals to Hikaru that she traveled from Japan.
Oh, wait. Is it Milliard? Is he talking about Colonel Milliard?
Yeah, we've already discussed this. We've discussed this before when I indicated to you that Flower Girl is basically immortal.
Apparently,
that she's from before the attack on Earth by the Zentradi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is what we covered before, that Milliard and Flower Girl are basically the main voice actors of the radio show, apparently.
When did Hikaru have PTSD that caused? That didn't happen in the series that I remember. It must be a side story thing, I guess.
This is not like, it's the radio show.
Yeah, I know, but he's talking about...
This isn't like Hitchhiker's Guide, right? Where you have the radio show and then a book and then a TV show that all kind of encompass the same thing but tell them differently. This is, I
Yeah.
think, extra content because we know this is in Millard's past. Because that explains why he
Yeah.
has the foot in the show, Macross Plus.
Yeah, it has the fake, not the fake, the prosthetic.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah.
Anyway, it
He
also
has a foot. I hope he has a foot. Otherwise, I was gonna walk.
well, to be fair, he also has a foot.
Yeah,
He has that foot, the one I'm referring to, and a foot.
yeah.
He doesn't have two prosthetics.
No.
But anyway, I mean that's like the tie between SDF Macross, Macross Plus, and Macross 7.
Yeah. So
All right, well, those are our comments. So I guess the first thing we should hop on into is a yet another All That VF. I would say that was a familiar red one.
yeah, that's VF19.
Or was it the VF19S?
And that's Cheryl singing. Yeah, that's all of them up to this point.
Is that Michaels and yeah, it's Michaels and Luca? I forgot his name. Is it Luca?
Look at you.
Sorry, having a character named Lacus in another show we're watching give me that stuff are all L names.
Interesting. It's trying to stall it. But I don't see it. There's the VF0 or from 0.
No, Zero had its own. We watched that with Zero.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how they all died.
Huh.
Remember, never try the Starburst maneuver.
No, but we do have 0 here because we have the anti-unification army. Yeah, these are the ones I'm talking about. Yeah.
No, I said Zero had its own special. We
Yeah,
already
no,
watched
but
that.
I'm looking about the Valkyries that were in 0, whether they're here or not. Oh, interesting.
Well, they shouldn't be.
Holographic.
They'd be so far behind the times.
No, but remember, this is the 25th anniversary, so they're collecting everything up to this point.
Not everything. Also, take a breath, man. I can hear how out of breath you are.
No, I'm fine.
It sounded like you were pushing out like the last of your breath in your lungs to argue. It's like, God, take a second. I appreciate the holographic or whatever the hell they're doing. What do you call that? When you electritize an image to make it move on like a flat surface. They can do it currently with like special paper for advertisements.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of fun. I like to see all the Valkyries, including the anti-UN army one that we saw there. The Storm something of that. I forgot the name of it. SF something.
I don't know the names of these things.
Yeah.
Really, the only ones I really ever even come close to remembering is the ones the main characters are using. Only because they get named so often, or somebody wants to put it in the comments.
Yeah.
All right, well, next up we have the 35th anniversary thing. I don't know what it is, other than it's called Gorgeous. I probably knew, like, months ago what this was when I was gathering everything together, but it's been a long time. So, I guess nothing else to do but hop on in.
Okay.
I will also say a bunch of this was in a very specific order, so I guess there's a possibility something could get spoiled by watching them out of order.
Okay.
It's your favorite show.
I shouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
So you were young when you watched Plus. How old were you when you watched Frontier?
Older.
16, 17.
I was older. And how old is supposed to be Cheryl? 17, 18? I think she's supposed to be 18 at this point. Yeah.
I believe the age of majority at the time in Japan was 16.
Yeah. So I think
I'm
that
only
I read
explaining,
somewhere.
to clarify though, I'm only explaining that for the show, being whatever country you're in is the legal age of majority you are beholden to. So don't be like a 20-year-old man trying to pick up 16-year-olds in Japan. One, it's creepy. Two, it's illegal.
Yeah. Mayan, yeah. That's the artist behind Cheryl. Cheryl, the singing voice, is because they didn't use the same.
We've covered
Unlike
this
Link
before with
May.
Macross 7. Yeah.
Yeah. Unlike Mimi May, they didn't use the same voice actress for the singing that they use for,
That's what I'm saying. We covered this
What?
before with Macross 7.
Yeah.
The fact that there's a concert show that features the voice actor of Basara, but then a different one with the singing voice of Basara. So a lot of people got disappointed for a very specific concert.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, I expected to watch a lot of music videos today.
Yeah. That's a tradition that starts all the way from 2012 onward, which was actually it was a video music collage, I guess you could call it. Because there are multiple songs that they're playing, right? But the only really informative part of 2012 is the last bit of the concert when we see the Mega Road and, May joining the Mega Road and they're flying off to, well, wherever they were going, center of the galaxy. Everybody seems to go to the center of the galaxy. I guess this was before it was common knowledge that the center of the galaxy is a big black hole. Like, yeah, let's go to the center of the galaxy. Is like,
I would anticipate this more an element of the first ship left to go to the center of the galaxy, and then every other ship is just following after that one. Except for the fact that we see in the beginning of Frontier that no, everyone's just kind of going woo all over the place.
Yeah. I mean, trying to find habitable planets that were not blown up by the Centrati, I guess.
Well, I mean, the Centrati are still out there. Apparently, we're just fighting them all over the fucking place.
Yeah. The galaxy is a big one.
It's calling to me. All right, next up, it's time for us to watch a commercial.
Does that imply that she has holographic hair as well? Because she had like pink hair, but her hair is more like dirty brown.
I told you she has really strange hair. You argued with me about this during the show for some reason. I admit I brought this up because when it happened in the movie or like near the end of the show, I can't remember.
Yeah.
The Pure Shield showed up in the show, and I was like, wait a second, that's an actual commercial though.
Yeah.
Well, I tried not to play my hand because this is one of the things I planned for us to watch. It's like, wait a second, that's in the show?
I mean, you need people with sponsors to pay for this stuff, so it's not uncommon. Increasingly, I mean, Lime is everywhere in rom-coms and in slice of life anime because Lime pays a lot of money. Line, not Lime.
Yeah, you're saying Lime, and I'm like, what? Like people are doing margaritas? What are we talking here?
Line, which is kind of the equivalent of it's a social media.
Yeah, I know, because we both have watched Kaguya-sama, and that's a whole story. I mean, the whole arc about you're not online.
The whole,
which is actually a different way. No, I don't even mean online. I mean on, as in present, on in line. Anyway, that was our commercial from a very old, I guess, VCR rip. I don't know where this comes from.
No, this seems to be a rip right from the television, right? Mostly.
Where are you recording your VCR stuff from, Mr. No, this seems to be from the television?
No, but I mean...
Legitimately, I said this seems to be a VCR rip, implying that somebody recorded this on the VCR, and you're now telling me that I didn't think they were on their TV. They just had their VCR hooked up to the ether.
No. I by VCR rip, I imagined you're saying they recorded it from the VCR and then transferred to the computer.
No, I meant to say
And
that they literally were watching it on TV, plus record on their VCR.
Yes, I know that.
I don't think you do, because we
But
seem to be having a misunderstanding.
what I'm trying to say is that there's two ways they could have gotten this: either directly from the TV, not using a VCR, just connecting a computer with a card.
Did you see the quality of this? Do you think that's what happened?
Or they could have used. I guess they still would have used an old TV converter card anyway.
I would be surprised. I would be surprised if the person didn't record this on a VCR. Somebody found that VCR tape later on and then recorded that on their phone, holding it to the TV. The quality that we got, I feel like.
Yeah, that fits.
Where I keep coming across people who are like, "Hey, can you help me? I'm having a problem with my computer," and then what they'll do is they'll send me a picture of their phone taking a screenshot of their screen. It's like, you hold just control and print screen. You'll take a picture of whatever you're focused on.
Okay, so officially, broadcasting in HD in Japan started. I mean, it goes back 1980s, but late 80s, but because the HD TV was something that the Japanese pioneered, but it started officially in December 1st, 2003. So I guess you are right. They went through. It could have been actually a phone. This would be a flip phone. I guess flip phones did have the later versions. Flip phones did have for camera and video recording. So yeah, it could have been an old flip phone, right? Because we're seeing flip phones in anime as late as 2008, 2009. So yeah.
Well, no, what I was proposing was that at any point in the future, after this thing got recorded, somebody could have found it on a VCR tape and did that. I wasn't saying that somebody in the time recorded it on a VCR tape and then put it to a phone.
Either way, it's a thing.
All right. Well, next up, I think it's time for us to play some Fever Macross Pachinko.
That classic. So,
but also updated
I
graphics.
would like. I mean, that's now CGI. All of it is CGI.
That's updated still.
Yeah. I don't know. It looks kind of plasticky, because they do the thing where they do CGI, but they put that filter over it that makes it cell animation, and
to awaken us, the young mankind.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it. Then I just watch so much different shit.
Yeah. Amelia.
Yeah,
now
so
I
it's
can't
not
watch
exactly
it
the
without
same. It's not exactly the same opening. They did add that content.
Yeah. But I see this now. Well, the animation when he tumbles in the original is much smoother than when they do the CGI. It looks very clunky when they do the CGI. The flying is fine, and the characters are great. Also, they give Misa such a sinister face, like.
I mean, I liked it. I kept asking for another version of the opening, and by this point, we've watched 4 versions of the SDF Macross opening. Where the OG, there was a special edition. I remember we watched a chibi version of it.
The chibi version,
and now we watched a CGI remaster for Pachinko games version.
Yeah. This is supposed to be when he's. Oh no, this is just Min.
I think this is supposed to be when you sink a lot of balls on the Pachinko machine.
Yeah.
I don't think this is supposed to be when he anything.
Yeah.
Or not sink a bunch of balls. That's I'm thinking of actually.
Okay, that's. Yeah, you get a medal because that's for Chris for your birthday. You get a medal.
Again, I like the update to the art.
Yeah. There's also an interview with Mari Ijima, which she did the voice and the singing for Minmay, and it's all in English because
I know I haven't.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't planning to watch it today, but unless you want to, I have that too. I literally was discussing. I was discussing this with you before. The fact that I have all these English interviews because obviously Vic Mignogna also voiced somebody in Macross, but he's got this current controversy. So I'm like, maybe let's not look at this English stuff. Mm-hmm. Because that would also be the thing. All this would be in the context of the English release. Because I was specifically trying to get it for, there was the first episode English dub, but apparently all I got was all of the other English stuff surrounding it.
So yeah. Oh, I also noticed that I think we're going to see this here. The pointed ears, they added the pointed ears back to the Centrati. Centrati didn't have pointed ears, and then later shows added the pointed ears, started with plus and 7. This is why they're different, right? Humanoid aliens have pointed ears.
Which really didn't make any sense to me when you were trying to point it out in plus.
Yeah.
You're like, pay attention to their ears. I'm like, why? Was that your new fetish? You sharing? What is saying? You give me a lot of information without context sometimes. It's like, that's how you can tell it's the fucking ears. I'm like, tell what? You're not telling me anything. It's my boy.
This is
still drawn as him.
That's one, yeah. Max? Hey, did you take a shot at me, dude? What? No.
I was really hoping we were going to get more Britai. I want one of these music video things to be Britai going hand to hand with Valkyries. I still remember him crawling out on the outside of the ship.
Yeah. Badass.
Well, yeah.
Well, this is all.
He fights a Valkyrie, gets kicked out of the ship, crawls back into the ship, and then kicks their ass.
Yeah, well, this is the Max show right now.
Except for, what's his name?
Kasagaki? Kasagaki, yeah.
I can't remember the joke I used to make.
Yeah.
The guy who gets blown up in Canada.
Mm-hmm. He wasn't a bad pilot, after all, according to this, but...
He had a ton of flight time.
Yeah. In simulators, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
And also making them all members of Skull Squadron, which...
I mean, they would have been.
They weren't. No, they weren't, because...
They were after
in the original show.
Over.
Yeah, but originally they were part of Vermilion Squadron. They have their own units under Hikaru, and
after
then
Roy dies, they are in Skull Squadron.
He becomes Skull leader, which becomes not only the leader of the squadron, but the CAG of all the Valkyries in the Macross, which should have peed off a lot of people that were senior to him. If you think about it.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that ship has that giant hole in it for the rest of the series.
Yeah, no, but these are two different people. This is a different scene altogether, because I don't remember those bombs.
I'm not paying attention to any of that. I'm paying attention to the elements that I know. And again, I think I pointed out the fact, because it's during the after they get kidnapped or whatever the episode's called, where Max is walking around dressed up as a Zentradi in a Valkyrie, where they fly through the wall behind Britai and Nexidol. That for the rest of the show, that's just a giant hole that they have. I guess I think they carried that over into Macross 7 as well. When they fired the giant speaker thing into the Gepernix thing, and then for the rest of the show, there's just this weird hole thing in their readout. Yeah. I love that. It's not even like a little detail. It's just like, haha, I fucked up your ship.
Oh, whoops.
That's my favorite song from SDF Macross. The song that literally has nothing to do with the rest of the show.
No? Okay. Wait, they put Rick saving her from the ogre.
Was it?
Yeah, it wasn't.
It's the movie, remember?
Was
So it should be Kaifun.
Kaifun, yeah,
Make sure
but it
that's
wasn't.
not
It was
the,
Rick's.
Make sure it's not the remake version of Kaifun. Movie version. Because movie version Kaifun looks different from show version.
It's still recognizable. No, it's
also,
it's
remember...
Rick.
No. Remember, Kaifun looks exactly like Rick. You might not remember this.
No, it's not. No, he doesn't look exactly like Rick. He looks like Misa's first boyfriend.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so you're saying Rick is in Rick Hunter.
Yeah, saying Hikaru.
Yeah, you should be saying Hikaru if you're talking to me.
Yeah.
You're talking like to Robotech fans. You're saying Rick, and I'm thinking of, what's his name? I can't remember his name.
I know who you're talking about. German name. He had a name. Yeah, he died.
The dead ex-boyfriend who died on Mars. Yeah.
Mars, yeah.
Anyway, who Kaifun is supposed to look exactly like. So that's where I thought you were going with that.
No.
That's not Kyber. Fiber? Huber.
Yeah, Kyber.
Kyber. Is it Kyber? It's like, that doesn't sound right for some reason. Maybe because I'm trying to remember the first name, too. Oh, well. I mean, I could go to the board if I wanted to. I was trying to get it off the top of my head. I'm trying to do everything off the top of my head. Either way, we all know that Kaifun is supposed to look...
Ryber.
I knew something was wrong. It's not Kyber.
Yeah.
That's a crystal that you would make a lightsaber out of.
Since we're going through her Min-Mei's entire music catalog.
I mean, basically.
Yeah.
What else would there be from SDF Macross?
Oh, nice. Amelia with her knife. And a reminder that, okay, remember that Misa is a cat lover, I guess. I don't know if she had a cat in the series. She had pictures with a cat. I don't know if, their captain playing here. Huh?
I mean, ultimately, I guess it feels like... I keep wanting to say Mylene. All the M names in these fucking shows. I know, I don't want to say Mylene. Min-Mei.
Min-Mei, yeah.
Was ultimately the second worst idol of Macross.
I don't know why. Well, I think she...
Okay, wait. No, wait. Who is worse than Min-Mei? From the idol aspect. I only said from the idol aspect.
From an idol perspective? I mean, I don't think they're worse. I mean...
No. Ranking, you have to. So, I'm not asking you for give me all your ranking. I'm just saying who's worse.
I would put her number 2. I would put her... I think Ranka is worse.
How's Ranka worse? She legitimately has better songs.
No, really. I mean, her songs are okay, but
I think I like 3 Min-Mei songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that.
How many Ranka songs do you like?
There
are Ranka songs, not duets.
No. Here's the thing. I think, given the context of what do you call them? When you sing somebody else's song but make it your own.
A cover.
Yeah, I think in the realm of covers, you can give Ranka covers.
Mm-hmm.
So in that context, if I enjoy someone's cover versus a different person's cover, then I can give Ranka a bunch of Cheryl songs.
Yeah.
As well as duets. And then when you do duets, you have to include Cheryl in the duet, and then give Cheryl her own original songs as well.
Mm-hmm.
So also performance-wise, they outperform Min-Mei. Min-Mei is like the Beatles to, say, Elvis, right?
The Beatles are much better than Elvis.
I would say that's an argument based on you're probably going to throw out like numbers for like best-selling albums and money over time. But when you say like,
I just like the Beatles music better than the Elvis.
Yeah, but I'm saying to a person of the age, right? Because the Beatles come out before Elvis, but to the age, you're saying like, no, I like Sharon Apple more than I like Min-Mei. To somebody who's in the era where Sharon Apple's around, right? the same thing. It's somebody who's like, Elvis is on stage. I'm going to go see an Elvis performance. The Beatles haven't done anything new in a while. You know?
I put Cheryl over Minmay, but I won't put Minmay in the bottom.
I would put
Definitely.
Minmay at the bottom because she's like the first, and thus, she's the most set back by the time the show came out to like the genre of music that she's in. Also, she doesn't do anything special. Like Cheryl has this whole holographic concert second thing going on, and Ranka does too at some point. Sharon Apple does. Basara does Battlefield music videos essentially. Also, not for nothing, he's covered Minmay. So,
Yeah.
like the only one argument I could give would be, oh god, my bad memory. She's like my favorite one too. You know who my favorites are. Help me out here. There's a limited number of people you could be guessing from here. We watched all the shows together.
Mylene?
No.
It has to be from Macross 7, right?
No.
And from when?
Zero.
Frontier. Zero. Well, she's not an idol, so she doesn't
Technically,
count.
she's an idol in the same way that like when we put all the idols together for a video game.
No man,
we
yeah,
consider...
I talk about Noma, yeah. Yeah. What's her name?
Well, no, that's the last name. I only can remember Cheryl because of Across Frontier. Mal,
no.
Cheryl, and then the one I can't remember whose name starts with an S. I want to have to say Sarah.
Noma, yeah.
I
don't think she's there.
Again,
and
she is technically considered an idol, but don't even make that an argument. The point being, though, is even though she's my favorite, I have to consider her to be the worst of the idols because she doesn't have like a soundtrack or anything. She has the things that she sings, but that doesn't go anywhere. Nobody knows her name. Essentially, she's like a legend that a movie gets made of in universe. Mm-hmm. So, despite the fact she's my favorite, she's also, I have to consider to be just under Mylene. So Minmay. So for me, Minmay, second worst. My favorite one, worst. Although I point out, I think probably in the ranking polls that we did, that Minmay was the worst amongst fan polling, so... Yeah, remember Basara won.
Yeah.
Well, take it what you will.
Anyway.
Every little glimpse I can get of Britai, I appreciate.
This is fighting on Earth, though, yeah.
Yeah, but we saw him up with Exodal for like a quick second.
Yeah.
Boy, I love those things that we made that destroy our own ship every time they move.
The bridge buddies. This is the battle over Vancouver, I think it is. Oh, or Belter? I don't remember. It's a city. The Canadian city gets. Yeah, they're mixing stuff from the TV show and the movie.
Well, that's the canon. Despite what Ilios might say in the comments. We've established what we consider to be the canon based on everything we've brought forward as evidence. See the thing. Old Exodal.
Okay. This jackass.
Who I almost had myself drawn as.
Oh, this is the fight in Mars, yeah.
Yeah, where he established himself as the Backstab King.
Yeah. Oh, I guess. No, he didn't. I don't remember him killing him there, but sure.
All right. Weird side question. Who do you think wins in a fight? The Earth Federation ball or a Zentradi ball?
Zentradi. They have more firepower, longer range firepower.
I guess also the element that the Zentradi could just fucking get out and destroy the Earth Federation ball. Although, I guess from the other standpoint, an Earth Federation ball has a lot less parts that you can hit that would kill the pilot, whereas any shot on a Centrati ball essentially is the pilot because he's like jammed inside.
I think it depends. If Minovsky particles are a thing in the fight, then the Federation ball, because it is smaller and more maneuverable, and it does have heavier firepower, but the main gun is pretty heavy, right? The one over the ball. But if Minovsky particles are not a thing, then the Centrati has much long range firepower and will take out the dozens of balls before anyone one against it.
I don't know why it wouldn't be a thing.
Well, it depends on the rules you put up, right?
Right, well, the thing is, if Minovsky particles aren't a thing, then the ball has no power source either. So, are you saying, is an inert ball in space going to do anything? Or...
Oh, no, the ball's not... It's not a mobile suit. It doesn't. It just depends on retro
Minovsky particles power basically everything. That's why the fleets give off Minovsky particles, because they're now being powered by Minovsky reactors.
Yeah.
So Minovsky reactors are just so small now that they are able to be put in mobile suits. But everything is generally Minovsky particle. I guess, except for like Earth. Like, I guess power plants on Earth aren't Minovsky reactors. Even though that's weird, though, because considering I watched a whole thing on Minovsky working on an actual power reactor on Earth, where he develops the Minovsky particle. Anyway, that's Gundam. Are you ready for the next thing?
Yeah. Do you remember Love?
Not really. It's been a long time.
Okay.
I reached out on Facebook, but she didn't reach back.
This is when the bridge bunnies come in and they see him with the
bra.
Yeah. Roy. And the pineapple salad. And the big steak that he never managed to finish. Okay. That's a lot of beer. Wait, why
was
are you wearing...
is she in a relationship with Global? I don't remember that.
No, I don't think so.
Maybe that was supposed to be like a running theme that we didn't pick up on.
Yes, no.
But she was in the thing with Global, then the thing with Max later on with the Bridge Bunnies in Macross 7, and then with Cross Frontier. I like the skull shirt.
Yeah, it reminds me of what the show... It's based on another show, though. It's
I'm glad you looked away when we got Naked Milia. Yeah, she literally had the towel over her shoulders just in the way so it just covers exactly.
Yeah. This is the wedding thing, yeah.
Are you sure we're not watching Mario? Rainbow Road?
Too bad they get divorced later.
I'd go with the whole Norse mythology thing, but I couldn't remember the name. I mean, they're divorced, but they're still in love.
Yeah. And 7 kids later.
I think it's more than 7.
Yeah.
Oh, right, the fountain that she takes all her prospective boyfriends to.
Well, that didn't happen.
It did.
Well, they didn't kiss in the fountain.
That final clip in the Pachinko series.
Mm-hmm.
I have to assume this is the clip that plays when you win the game. That great victory you get when the Earth is destroyed.
Yeah. And she gets another medal, I guess.
Well, I just mean specifically, it's the longest of all the clips, apparently. Yeah, fuck you. Don't mess with Earth. Well, that's that when Exodol turned into a zombie. He was gray. He was like gray like a dead guy.
Oh, yeah.
Not green like he is in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Or a different shade of green like he is in the movie. But again, movie Exodol would never fit it on the SDF Macross.
Oh, for a second, I thought you were not gonna see his eyes. Like I was like,
Well,
yeah, but
they
this time
exposed
they
them
had,
to space for half a second.
yeah,
I also think if any there's like a pole strong enough to pull all the cars off the street, those people should have
Yeah.
gone too.
that's where Roy dies,
Well, he dies later.
or earlier
Playing
in
a guitar.
this sequence. Yeah.
This is where Roy dies.
Mm-hmm.
Again, then he walked through the whole ship bleeding out of his back with nobody noticing. No, we just got rid of the blood. That's all we had to do.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Ontario.
Mhm. And when they ram Medusa's ship.
I don't know. I always just remember him as gold.
Yeah. Are those the pictures that Reiber had in his book in Mars? Yeah.
No, those are just memories. They're memories because they're moving.
Hmm.
I'm surprised there wasn't one of these with Hikaru and Minmay in their, like... Remember in the very beginning where they get, like, trapped in that one section? Just alone together?
Yeah, in the ship, yeah. Yeah. They did show him getting the tuna from space. But
Yeah, I guess that was, like, at the
Not-
very start of that.
it's how they survive all those days. Well, they
that
survive.
was part of
there
it
you
right
go. Yeah. And this is where they actually do kiss for the first time.
And that's when we find out that Minmay has Sound Force.
He's the goddess of the moon, I guess. And now we have Force Ghost.
Now this is when we had the Ghostbusters slash Macross crossover.
Yeah. Now she's a moon goddess, I guess. I don't
I
know.
mean, except for the fact that the Earth should have been completely gray in that shot.
Hmm.
I mean, anything to say about the Pachinko game? I don't know.
I
Where
mean, it's fine. It's a reconceptualization of the story, right? To everything cram into these little vignettes or cutscenes, if you think about it. So there you go. That's I mean, I like I said, the flying sequences are fine. When I think they did refine later on, the combat sequences, but some of the maneuvers, like when Hikaru's supposed to do the tumble and shoot, which is from the original introduction, in the original it looks very smooth, and here it goes like like you're throwing a Lego pieces and they're tumbling, So
I don't have much complaint.
yeah.
I appreciate the updated graphics on some of them anyway. Some of them were obviously just pulled. All right, I think it's time for one more set of commercials.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Please don't try and buy stuff that's no longer available.
Yeah. I mean, unless you could get them on eBay or something. I would like to get these Valkyrie types. It might even rarer, I'm all the Valkyrie.
By the way, we're currently being sponsored by the 1980s.
Yeah.
We saw what Bandai was doing.
Yeah. Okay. Can we just see this?
Summer vacation. I'm going to enter that
Yeah.
Macross contest. Now underway. It only told me not to try and buy stuff that wasn't currently available.
Yeah.
Give me an address. I'll send a letter in a language they won't understand to a business that's out of business, I'm assuming.
Yeah. What? Garo. What's right?
多くの人々の運命を乗せて超時空要塞マクロスは行くマクロス要塞艦発進
Always fortress mode. Oh, there we go.
マクロス強行型ニューラインナップ次々に登場
I appreciate that they played the smoke in backwards.
So Imai, and Idi. I guess two different companies, or maybe the same company changed their name.
Or one lost the rights.
Yeah.
Because it was RI and now Inrami. Oh,
Yeah.
there's that contest. See, we just play the smoke in reverse.
Yeah. Yeah, different company. But different company, but same announcer? Sounded like the same announcer.
Why not? Seems like it'd be easy enough to get the voice actor.
Yeah. Oh, so Imai got the rights to use the same models and
Then reuse the same commercial.
yeah.
Just changing the title card at the end.
Yeah. I would like to get my hands on these toys.
In case you need to know how to operate said toy.
No, but I think they're selling this as one that is fully transformable.
I know, I'm showing you. They're showing you how to operate said toy. Imagine watching a Transformers toy commercial and they showed you how to fold the Transformer. Probably be
It would
helpful.
have made it easier. Yeah. Because now the expensive ones are just transformed by themselves. So
Honestly, I still don't know what the point of Gerwalk mode is.
I don't know. I think originally it was designed to make it easier for the transformation, with just a part of the transformation, but they just made it its own thing, make its own gimmick, I guess.
The Big Macross.
Well, now Takatu Toys, huh? Okay. How many companies had the rights to Imai, Takatu?
We're at 3 so far.
Yeah. Takatuko. Well, that could be. Well, no, that looks like the company that sells them. I have to see
I
the rest of the
originally thought
content.
it was a toy store, but these are the
Yeah.
advertisements themselves, so...
Mm.
Plus, they're not, like, giving us a come on down to blah, 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 toys.
Yeah.
It seems like more of a buy something toys.
The conversion kit. Oh, that means a conversion kit. You can buy a Valkyrie and use it to convert it into another one, or is one
assume
figure
so.
and you can? Yeah.
Well, because it seems just to be like a different version of the Valkyrie you saw before, so you buy the conversion kit to make this one, this very specific Skull Squadron.
No, but the kit was for three types of Deathstroid. Yeah.
So it must have been near the end of the show.
I seen this one, yeah. Seen this one before.
But did the mechanics come with it?
I don't know.
I mean, I had to believe there's some hardcore collector out there who's got like the little
Oh, yeah.
mechanics from the commercial.
Wow, I seen this before, but never Macross theme.
Yeah, I had one of those. Well, I didn't have one that you rubber banded. I had one that was like on a gun that had like a spring load on it, so you would put the plane all the way back.
Let's say it on Sato Toys, yeah. So that would be the story. Yeah.
Well, now I do.
This feel,
Now that I don't. Okay.
I guess it's a specially made animation for this.
I'm surprised there's a stamp and like a decoder ring or something. You're too young to understand that.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna impress her with that. At what, 9, 8, 7-year-old, 8-year-old?
Yeah,
Yeah.
unless she's into Macross.
Mm.
I mean, that was interesting. I didn't expect to learn what the Zentradi letters were. Although, to be fair, I still didn't. But I could if I was watching the commercial over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I was watching SDF Macross, and there was something in the background, I needed to know what it said. Boom, hidden message time.
Yeah.
If only I had my VCR operating, and not at the degree that we got with Pure Shield.
Yeah.
Well, is that all you have to say about the last commercial that we have to watch?
I wish I had my hands on all those toys, but they're not on sale
Well, of course, it'd be
anymore.
worth something.
Yeah. Especially the rare Destroids. That conversion kit, that seems interesting.
Well, this is what, a short movie? Short OVA? I'm afraid what's considered. I think it's labeled as its own short film, but it's only like 13-ish minutes long. Labyrinth of Time, which I know I only found its existence when I was following down the rabbit hole of False Songstress, Wings of Goodbye. So I have to assume that maybe this follows the timeline of the movies?
I would hope so. I never seen it, so.
Well, I mean, it might be the answer to the concern or the problem you had with the movies ending. You know, Valto just fucking off. He didn't fuck off. He, like, got pulled away to somewhere.
Yeah. The queen folded away, yeah.
Yeah, and Cheryl being in a coma.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have literally no idea, so.
Although she was getting transfusions from Ranka that were keeping her alive, I guess.
Again, I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know. I didn't have a problem with the movie's ending. In fact, I preferred the movie's ending, but I know you didn't like it as much. You preferred the show's ending.
I think that the show's ending was a little more. I like the fact that Alto stuck around. So,
but again, he didn't leave on his own. You can't blame Alto for going if he just like got pulled away.
I know that, but still, you know. And so I guess he's talking to the queen and teaching the queen about humanity and all that. So
I think you're just adding that. Literally, he was just there and got pulled away at the last minute because it was otherwise he would have died, the queen would have died, etc. I think. I think this is more in line with SDF Macross, the movie ending.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's all the characters of the show are now kind of off. Like you can't touch them anymore, except for Ranka, except for Ranka, who's present. But I mean, you could consider Ranka in the same realm as like Global. What, did Global go on the Mega Road?
No, he died.
Did he die? When did he die?
I think he died when the SDF-1 died. He died, and so
SDF-1 didn't die. The SDF-1 was literally in Macross City as its central thing.
Yeah, because it got rebuilt.
I don't remember. When did it die?
Remember when what's his name did the final attack? He blew the top of the SDF-1.
I don't remember Global still being on board because most of the people that were main characters or even side characters escaped. Like we see a bunch
the
of
only one
we see like a bunch of like bridge bunnies that we've never seen before die in an explosion. Or actually, some of the male bridge bunnies die in an explosion, but everybody else fucking survived. Like all the bridge bunnies survived. So why would Global have died?
The only person we see is Misa talking to Hikaru and Watson, and that's it. And
No, in
then
the attack
no one
itself, we
else.
see them ram, and in the ram, we see like the bridge, and the bridge doesn't have any of the characters we know on it.
No, because they switched to the old bridge, and Global was sitting in the chair, like waiting for them. It's like, oh, I was waiting for you guys to get here.
This doesn't feel right. I am going to check the board real quick, since I know I'm going to edit all this out anyway. Where is the fucking board? I got too many. There we go. Macross guessed right on the first go. I'm just going to check, because if he did die, I would have crossed him out. So this is just a check Global's face. Is Global face have a giant red X on it moment. Alright, that is 0. This is the first one. Global's alive. Gordon's alive. So he didn't die. Because if at the end all the Birch Bunnies and Global and everybody died in the crash, I would have labeled them dead, just so it was going forward we'd be correct. According to the board, he's alive. It also implies that for the last 3 series, you haven't complained that Global was dead either.
Anyway.
See, I hate when you do that. I hate when you do that. It's like, I feel like you're either going to defend yourself or whatever, and you're like, whatever.
I mean, there's nothing to. It would be taking too long to try to explain whether I think they're dead or not, because the ship did take major damage. I don't know if.
My point is that regardless of what we're thinking right now, back then, you didn't argue that he was dead.
I didn't think to be a point I wanted to raise.
Well, no, I mean, we do the board. We do a whole board segment, so we would have looked at the board.
I don't think we looked at the board
series
afterwards, because we jumped to other things, and I didn't go back to. I'm just focusing on whatever we're doing in that moment. I didn't go back and like, oh, let me check the board when
No, I'm pretty sure that we discussed who would have died, because I didn't mark the Bridge Bunnies as dead either.
We discussed who would go from one series to the next. And in that sense, Max and Amelia were the ones that came to the next series.
No, we did a plus 7. After that.
Yeah.
So that's why the board is in like timeline order.
Yeah.
But I'm also saying that every other series after that, you never mentioned that Global was dead. So I just think by element of omission on your behalf that you believe that Global died.
And like I said, I don't think that's relevant right now, to be perfectly honest.
Why is it not relevant?
Because we're going to Frontier, and we don't see Global ever again. He doesn't get mentioned. We have a ship named after him, the Global, so I guess he either died there or he died of old age, I guess. Because it's kind of weird to name a ship after a living person.
No, he's not dead. I mean, well, he obviously dies at some point, because we're going into the future of different eras. In the aftermath on the wiki, does not list him as being dead. He became an admiral in the aftermath of the battle against Skulk. He became UN representative, retired from the UN Space Agency as a full admiral. He appointed Misa as the captain of the Mega Road.
Yeah.
And then it jumps off to Macross Plus, where things are named after him. You'd think whoever's editing the wiki would say, oh, and then he died in a heroic sacrifice. No, he just doesn't die, according to the wiki. I know you're trying to indicate that this is not important to you, but it's important to me for the board. Like, people who are dead should be dead on the board. So I'm very, I don't know, miffed by the idea that you think he's been dead this whole time, but never raised it. Because, the whole argument that we've had before of, like, I said a thing at the beginning of Across Frontier, and then 20 episodes later you want to have an argument about the thing that I no longer have notes for. It's like, what are you doing? Literally, we are... When did Frontier come out? 2000 something?
2008, I think.
So we're like 20 years after SDF Macross in the timeline of events, and now you want to argue that Global is dead?
I think I'm confusing it with something else, and I don't want to bring that something else up because it's really irrelevant.
Well, honestly, you really shouldn't have any spoilers left. You should be the same
No,
boat
it's
as
not.
me moving forwards.
It's not spoiler. It's more of another show that might have portrayed him differently.
Nadia?
But we're not talking. No.
All right. Well, so long as we're in agreement that Global did not die in SDF Macross.
Apparently not. I stand corrected.
Well, again, we have to be clear about the stuff moving forward, because I know some point in the future I'll be like, well, thinking back to Global, the Global ship in Macross Frontier, named after Global, blah, blah, blah. I just know it's going to be an argument point if we don't clarify our points of view now.
I stand corrected. I already said I stand corrected.
Yeah, you just did, and I explained why I was talking about it.
Okay.
Look, we have very pedantic arguments sometimes, and I want to be clear 100% before we leave, because I feel like... I'm not
You were
arguing
right.
with you anymore. I'm just explaining why we were having the discussion. That's all.
Okay.
Big West.
Oh, this is ominous.
Well, it's not Harmony Gold.
No. Satellite. Well, okay. That's a
Title card.
play on words, I guess. Yeah. No, but it is a play on words, I guess. Pretty.
I guess this is that planet? Although that wasn't like... I don't know where we were at.
That's Ranka speaking, though.
Yeah, but I mean, this isn't the planet with the giant thing around it, because this is an asteroid belt.
Yeah. No, this is definitely not that planet.
I thought the
I
art
guess it's just
style changed,
Ranka.
but I think it's just a very ornate building.
Yeah. I guess Ranka following her dreams of being an idol and singing across the galaxy, right?
Oh.
These are other aliens, yeah.
No, I was going to say, for a second I thought these were the aliens from Macross 7, the thing.
No. Yeah, because the way humanoid aliens you can distinguish in the Macross is through the ears. These have monkey ears?
Well, if it was the other planet, they'd have a snake around their neck. The planet I was talking about, anyway.
Yeah. They also have pointed ears as well. Oh,
So,
still singing
yeah,
after.
Maybe it is
So
related
this is
to the
after
movies.
the movies. Yeah, because this is Autos crashed.
悲しい戦いを止めるため銀河を震わす歌声で命を燃やし尽くしたシリルさんは
Well, not all of her life.
今も眠り続けている
Okay, I was right. Don't eat it.
Oh, I guess it's. Is that Luca giving him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Grace is still around doing shit.
Why they're silencing him?
To keep listening to the song, I guess?
The Galactic Heritage Bureau. Okay.
So I guess they're looking for protoculture sites?
Yeah.
それにしても だかすごい場所。
プロトカルチャーの末裔が残した魂の井戸と呼ばれる神殿。
Descendants of the protoculture? Who would that be?
Yes, them.
The
Of
Centrati?
humanity would be Centrati?
The Supervision Army?
更新する場とも伝えられている。
急いでくださいね、ランカさん。まだ新曲の歌詞書けてないんだし、明日には次の。
So I guess Namase, she
Namase.
is her.
ごめんね。
Namase, what's her name? Oh my god, not
Nanase?
Nanase. She is her manager in this version.
I don't know. Grace was in the background. Seems like Grace has some sort of helping hand.
I didn't see her.
She was in the room that was monitoring Ranka from the concert. That's why I said, oh, Grace is still here.
フォールド反応。やはり夕べのライブでランカさんの歌声に反応して眠っていた遺跡が目覚めたのかもしれない。
呼んでる。
The galaxy? Is the galaxy calling you?
アルト君が呼んでる。
やめろ、危険だ。
Is it Alta though?
So is the Labyrinth of Time the actual place, or is the song that she's singing?
I become the devil himself. I guess we have travel in space and time.
Oh, we've already had that though. That was on Macross Zero. Now, is this in her head, or is this actually the labyrinth doing it? Or, conversely, is this also just part of the music video that she's already in?
Yeah. Ah, it's just a projected memory. Yeah, they explained it. It's her memories.
I can't tell you how excited I would be if Birdman showed up and Sarah climbed out. Wow.
Yeah, doesn't work for her. She's trying to be Cheryl. I was like, no, that doesn't work.
Well, I don't think she knows how to apply lipstick.
Yeah.
That was like a first time moment, it felt like.
Mm-hmm.
How would you even know? How would you know what numbers you were putting in?
I think that's supposed to be his number.
No, I'm saying, how would you know? She's just pushing on the thing, and numbers are popping up. There's
We
no
call
visual.
ID.
I say, it is a bit of a trick to put together a 15-minute music video.
お願い、アルト君答えて。早く帰ってきて。シェリルさんは目覚めさせてあげて。別々の道を歩きながら同じ夢を見てた。
So now we're just remembering previous concerts that we gave.
Yeah. See, in the movies, the relationship between Ranka and Cheryl is closer than in, while in the series is more combative, right? Is he doing Spider-Man there? He's holding
Well, I
back
mean, not really. He's not trying to
Yeah.
stop the thing or anything. He's holding back the other people in the trolley.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
guess so.
pushing on the windows. Would not want to be on that thing. And then Cheryl's little coma pod.
This is interesting. Doesn't make a lot of sense, though.
Well, we don't have any context for what this ruin is doing.
Yeah.
Because it's also the ruin of a protoculture descendant people, and not the protoculture themselves.
I like that she has yellow in her hair now.
She must be using Pure Shield.
I guess so.
I wonder if it really exists. I mean, if it still exists. Oh, this song. Now, is this one of the hollow images, or what is it this place used to look like?
No, these hollow images, yeah.
Well, I mean, the pillars and everything look like this place,
Yeah.
but like alive versus. I mean, I don't think so. If I had to guess, I had to say that this place probably just brings back your memories of stuff. Sorry, who was that?
Yeah, those are memories. That's Cheryl's memories. Remember Cheryl showing us younger when she first met Alto as a little girl?
Well, remember, we're watching this in a very specific timeline order, too, so it could be that Cheryl wakes up here and then is going to be awake in the next movie sort of thing, so... Well, Alto in his stage performance.
Mm-hmm.
I can only think that Renko went CGI to indicate to us that she's like in some sort of other.
Mm-hmm.
Implying that he was outside the galactic plane.
Galaxy? Yeah.
Well, he was like really above it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's been
Galactic
talking
North.
to the Proto-Devlin.
Mm.
You can hell you want. I want the Proto-Devlin to come back.
Yeah. Don't want it, don't need him.
But what about my star?
That has nothing to do with the Proto-Devlin.
Sure does. Sybil could be my star.
Yeah.
Sorry, plane stops, start playing Serial Experiments Lane music. She takes off her hat, starts walking away. Well, that was
I guess
anticlimactic. Because I kind of assumed that we'd see Alto come back or Cheryl wake up.
I guess this is more of the story goes on, right? We're trying to solve what's happening, right? We're doing still stuff, but that's a story for another day, right?
I'll say still more
gonna happen.
impactful than most of the Macross 7 bonus content.
Definitely, yeah.
They actually went off doing stuff, and they stayed together while doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Versus Bessara, who just like fucked off on his own.
Yeah. Followed by Mylene and what's his name? Gamblin. Because, Gamblin the simp.
Well, Gamblin actually was ordered, remember? We
Yeah.
found that out in the manga, that Gamblin was actually ordered by Max, and Max apologized to Gamblin for being such a hassle.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like it or not, Bessara is technically part of the military and was responsible for being present when called upon.
Yeah. And nobody calls him ever again.
Well, they don't have to. Evidently, he dies of asphyxiation at deep space because he just flew off with no fold device to bring him back.
Yeah.
I guess the implication is he comes back.
Mhm.
Like, it very much seems like the thing was beaming out to where he was. I don't. They said it was a transponder, but a transponder will
Yeah.
only give you information. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, tell you location and stuff like that, but it doesn't.
But I mean, again, it was outside the galactic plane, which is also, as we know, the direction the Proto-Devlin were going in. Well, a direction the Proto-Devlin were going in. We don't know it's the direction.
So I liked it. It was interesting, heavy on the CGI, but pretty, very beautiful.
I don't
And
have any problem with CGI.
Well, depends how it's used. Here it's used very well, I think.
Okay, when I say I have no problem with the CGI, I mean I have no problem with this CGI. Obviously, there's some really bad CGI in really cheap anime. I'm not talking about that. Like, the CGI that we saw in the music videos that we watched earlier today, and this, like, the Renka in this CGI was not good.
Yeah,
but other stuff was fine. Like I said, I assumed that they were doing that to her to make her seem other in a situation where other animation looked fine.
Like, make her stand out. But I liked it. I liked it very much. I like that the story continues, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you had to guess, like, what was going to happen next for something like Grace, apparently she's running production for Renka. If you want to know what, like, Luca got up to, Luca's still apparently not being tried for his crimes. But again, movie Luca, different from show Luca, who was responsible for more crimes. Also, Grace was not the mother figure that she was to Cheryl.
No, she was the bad guy. Yeah.
But again, we need to see what the next show says about that. Or, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Because, like, do we take this as the thing to tell us what happened? But this really feels like it's an extension of the movie universe, so...
Yeah.
We really need to see what Delta says is true about things. Or...
I don't think Delta is going to take touch much on this. The tradition is like, those things happen and we're going to move on to a different direction. So,
well, no, Macross 7 has things to say about what's true about the SDF Macross movie versus the show. There were elements of plus that come up in Macross Frontier, so it's always possible to get some background information. Hell, it says stuff about Zero as well.
Isamu shows up in the movies.
Well, you say Isamu shows up. Isamu's fighter shows up.
And he's actually talking. You can hear his voice.
Right, well, I didn't.
Yeah.
I haven't gone back to rewatch the stuff yet, so.
Yeah.
All right, well, that has been Labyrinth of Time.
Labyrinth of Time, yeah.
So, that said, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stone-Faced Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?